Welcome to our US Briefing Show. Today, we're diving into some fascinating stories from around the world. First up, Germany's got some pretty unusual laws. Think dancing on Sundays could land you a fine, and building sandcastles might be a no-go on certain beaches. These rules might seem odd, but they really reflect Germany's love for tradition and protecting the environment. Next, we turn to Turkey, where a rare April frost has hit the hazelnut crops hard. This has caused a huge spike in prices and could shake up your favorite chocolates like Nutella and Ferrero Rocher. With climate change making these kinds of surprises more common, the chocolate industry is feeling the heat, literally. Finally, in the world of international trade, the US and China have extended their tariff truce for another 90 days. Plus, Nvidia just scored a deal to sell chips in China, which could change the game for tech and trade relations. Tensions are still high, but there's a lot happening behind the scenes that could shape the future of global commerce. Please continue to watch for more details. Deutsche Welle vividly depicts Germany's peculiar and often amusingly outdated regulations, highlighting the country's paradoxical approach to regulation. In the article, the tradition of banning dancing in movies on Good Friday is illustrated through the southern state of Bavaria's 70-hour prohibition, with penalties soaring up to €10,000. The ban extends to over 700 movies, including classics like Ghostbusters and Heidi, provoking protests and public screenings in Bochum. Germany's quirky laws further include restrictions on nighttime mushroom foraging to protect nocturnal wildlife, and the forbid dance of wild garlic uprooting in reserves to prevent plant confusion. On beaches, children are prohibited from building sandcastles beyond certain sizes to prevent erosion, while Sundays are reserved for quietude, banning lawn mowing, shopping, and even the use of power tools, reflecting the deep-rooted respect for Ruhesiat. The Autobahn also enforces strict rules against running out of fuel, emphasizing safety and responsibility on its high-speed, no-limit roads, with fines for those who neglect to fuel up beforehand. Deutsche Welle's coverage of Turkey's hazelnut frost underscores how climate change and unpredictable weather threaten global supply chains and the confectionery industry. The rare April frost devastated Turkish crops, causing hazelnut prices to surge by over 35%, with futures exceeding 200 lira per kilogram. This shortage endangers the production of beloved products like Nutella and Ferrero Rocher, which rely heavily on hazelnuts, comprising about 13% of Nutella's recipe, forcing manufacturers to consider recipe reformulations, shrinking product sizes, or passing costs on to consumers just ahead of the holiday season. The article emphasizes the vulnerability of hazelnut-dependent sectors to climate fluctuations, as Turkish farmers, who store surplus crops for higher future prices, face diminished yields due to the frost. While other regions like Chile, Georgia, and the US attempt to fill the gap, their smaller-scale production and the long maturation period of hazelnut trees mean that short-term relief remains uncertain. The piece also warns of broader climate implications, noting that erratic weather patterns threaten other nut crops, underscoring the urgent need to adapt to climate change's unpredictable impacts on agriculture and food supply. Deutsche Welle's analysis of Iran's response to the US-brokered peace agreement between Armenia and Azerbaijan reveals a complex geopolitical dance in the South Caucasus. The peace deal, which includes the construction of a transit corridor dubbed the Trump Route, aims to connect Azerbaijan directly to Turkey and Europe, bypassing Iran and diminishing its influence in the region. Iran's initial reaction was mixed. While officials like Ali Akbar Velayati condemned the corridor, viewing it as a threat to Iranian interests, others such as President Masoud Pezeshkian expressed a more conciliatory stance, claiming Iran's interests are still protected. The strategic significance of this corridor lies in the ongoing struggle between Western and Russian influences, with the US seeking to weaken Russia's regional dominance by establishing new trade routes. Iran, already weakened by internal crises and regional tensions, perceives this development as an encroachment on its geopolitical space, especially given its tense relations with Azerbaijan and concerns over Azerbaijani nationalism and separatism. The article underscores Iran's need to recalibrate its regional policies amid shifting alliances, emphasizing how the new transit route could deepen Iran's regional isolation and challenge its long-standing influence in the Caucasus. The Associated Press highlights the dynamic evolution of two Atlanta-based rappers, Offset and JID, who are reintroducing themselves through their latest collaborations and albums. Their joint track Bodies, recorded largely in China and built around a new metal sample, marks a significant milestone, becoming a 2025 Billboard Hot 100 hit and symbolizing themes of self-determination and resilience. Following this success, JID launched his fourth album, God Does Like Ugly, a deeply personal project reflecting his current mental state and industry perspective, featuring collaborations with notable artists like Clips and Sierra. Meanwhile, Offset's upcoming album, Chiari, named after his legal name, serves as a mirror to his evolving identity, blending personal life experiences with rebellion against the industry's expectations, and paying tribute to his late cousin Takeoff with the heartfelt track, Never Let Go, dedicated to his memory and his recent family changes. In a stark contrast, the Associated Press reports a grim story of illegal wildlife trafficking, where Wei Chonglin, a Brooklyn resident, admitted to attempting to smuggle approximately 850 protected turtles valued at over $1.4 million from the US to Hong Kong. His shipments, cleverly disguised in boxes labeled plastic animal toys, were intercepted at the border, revealing the high stakes and illegal demand for exotic reptiles like eastern and three-toed box turtles, which are highly prized in the pet market, especially in China and Hong Kong. Lin's illegal activities extended to shipping venomous snakes and other reptiles, illustrating the ongoing threat to endangered species and the importance of international cooperation in wildlife conservation, with sentencing scheduled for later this year. The South China Morning Post covers significant geopolitical and economic developments involving China and the U.S., including the extension of the U.S.-China tariff truce by 90 days, which temporarily eases trade tensions amid ongoing negotiations. President Trump's confirmation of a rare deal allowing Nvidia to sell lower-end chips in China, with revenue sharing, underscores the delicate balance of technological and economic interests. Meanwhile, China continues to bolster its regional influence through major port expansions in Southeast Asia, such as in Brunei, and seeks to strengthen ties with Brazil amid strained U.S. relations. Additionally, internal issues like the scandal surrounding the CEO monk, Shi Yongxin at Shaolin Temple and calls for reform in China's competitive e-commerce landscape reveal a nation navigating both economic ambitions and societal challenges, reflecting its complex and multifaceted approach to growth and stability. South China Morning Post reports that the Trump administration's recent actions have dangerously threatened the fragile Indo-Pacific alliance known as the Quad, which includes the US, Japan, India, and Australia. Trump's aggressive tariffs, sanctions threats, and incendiary rhetoric have strained relationships with India and Japan, both vital to counterbalancing China's regional influence. Notably, tariffs on India and threats of secondary sanctions over Russian oil have plunged US-India relations to their lowest since 1998, prompting New Delhi to seek greater self-reliance and turn pragmatically towards Beijing. Meanwhile, Japan, despite its significant US investments, perceives Trump's tariffs as a betrayal, further complicating its alliance with Washington. These tensions have led to uncertainty over the upcoming Quad Leaders Summit, with fears that the alliance's unity may fracture as both India and Japan deepen economic and strategic engagements with China. Despite these strains, the core of the Quad, shared threat perceptions of China's expansion, remains resilient, with Japan and India committed to long-term security cooperation, even as Beijing offers short-term economic overtures to both nations. The geopolitical landscape is shifting rapidly, with China's strategic opportunities expanding amid U.S. internal discord, and the alliance's future hanging in the balance. Deutsche Welle highlights that Germany's Chancellor Friedrich Merz, now 100 days into office, has taken bold and sometimes controversial steps in foreign and domestic policy. His decision to halt arms supplies to Israel amid ongoing conflicts, made without broad internal consultation, has sparked criticism and revealed cracks within his coalition. Merz's foreign policy focus has been evident through high-profile visits to Kyiv, the White House, and EU and NATO summits, signaling a proactive stance on Ukraine and international diplomacy. Domestically, he has prioritized tightening border controls to curb irregular immigration, leading to confrontations with neighboring Poland and internal party disagreements. The coalition faces its first major crisis over the contested appointment of federal judges, with accusations of bias and procedural misconduct threatening to undermine trust. Despite ambitious plans to increase government debt and invest heavily in infrastructure, defense, and climate initiatives, Merz's leadership has been characterized by unpredictability and internal tensions, casting uncertainty over Germany's political stability and policy direction after his initial 100 days in office. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6do Brief via email.
Turn on the screen, monsters screaming. Empty smiles, their words misleading. Power games in darkened rooms.